He is not the same Butter that we used to see when he was fighting. Look at his record. The clock is ticking and he's getting older, he's getting weaker every day. And I think there's gonna be a moment that he has to start thinking about, am I going to do this again and again and again?
Hallo liebe Kampfsportfreunde und herzlich willkommen bei mir heute eine Legende des Kickbox-Sports, niemand geringer als der mehrfache K1 Grand Prix Champion Remy Bonjasky hier zu meiner Rechten. Wir sind hier auf der Pressekonferenz für Glory 80 und werden mit Remy mal sprechen, ob er sich denn auf diesen Event freut. Sehr schwergewichtslastige Card. Remy, first of all, thank you for taking the time to do this. I just mentioned to our viewers, we're here at the press conference for Glory 80, a heavyweight card. Tell us what we can expect from that event.
Well, we can expect a lot, I believe. And looking to the card, if you look at the main fight, Ben Sadiq versus Richters, it's a great matchup. Yeah. I believe it's a great matchup. You have there one young stars, upcoming stars, Levi Richters, fight against Jamal Ben Sadiq, the Goliath. Strong, heavy punches, he has bombs in his hands. And I'm looking forward to that fight. And of course, the co-main event is Badr Hari versus Rozojek. And you know, looking at the first fight that I had, I was really like, okay, I can put all my money on Badr Hari. But if I had done that, I would be poor right now.
Yeah.
Because in the last second, he got kicked away knockout, you know, and that was unfortunate for Badr. And I think all the fights that he had for Glory, he still didn't win any fight yet.
Yes.
And that is not okay for his record.
You have a long history with Badr yourself. He came from the same generation as you did back then in the big K1 days. What can we expect from Badr now going forward? Because there are a lot of people out there who say he's old now, his body isn't used to the stress anymore, you know, he had a lot of injuries. And is he mentally there? It's another question. He's a family man now, he's a father now. Is he still the old Badr? Can he have the same success that he had like 10, 15 years ago?
Well, looking at the Badr's record, looking back on how he's been fighting when he was a lot younger than this, let's say 10, 15 years ago, he was one of the strongest fighters that I fought. And like you said, he is one of the strongest, but he's not there anymore. Looking back, if he, let's say it would be 25, then he was 100%. He's now 37, I believe. Well, you can talk about maybe 80%. And still he is, well, not dominating, but he's doing a great job doing the fight. But he doesn't win the fight. And that is very important for your record and also for the audience. And people are starting to doubt him that he is not the same Badr that we used to see when he was fighting. Look at his record. He has more than 90 KOs. His KO rate is unbelievable. And looking back at it, you should win some of these fighters that he's fighting. But it takes only this to get knocked out, you know. And I think he's strong, and I think he still will win from some of these guys. But you know, the clock is ticking, and he's getting older. He's getting weaker every day. And I think there's gonna be a moment that he has to start thinking about, am I going to do this again and again and again? And you know, his record is now, for the last campaign, is not good.
Yeah.
It's not good.
Now, it's time for the new generation, obviously. And you talked about the main event, Jamal Ben Sadiq versus Levi Richters. Richters, maybe the next big star for Dutch kickboxing. Can he be the next Remy Bonjasky, the next Rico Verhoeven, the next superstar from the Netherlands?
I believe in Richters. Maybe it was 4 or 5 years ago, I already told him, hey, if you continue like this, you're gonna be the next big thing. And he's doing his job. Sometimes he makes the wrong choices, because I told him myself before the fight that he had in the four-man tournament, I said, maybe it's not the time to take this fight, because you're in 2 weeks' notice, you're gonna fight against first against the Tank, and then if you win that fight, you're gonna fight against Rico, and you're not completely in condition, you're not mentally in condition. Why do you take this fight? He said, Remy, you know, that when the train passes by, you have to step in. I said, okay, you're right about that, but this is not your train. This is not your train. And he did the fight, and look what happened. But, you know, he is strong. He is, you know, flexible with his legs, and I believe he's going to be the next best thing, but sometimes he has to make the right choices when you're fighting, because it's not the same thing like playing football. You know, when the season is off, you know, you go to the next season and then play again. But with fighting, the record, your fighting record will follow you until you stop.
So is Jamal Ben Sadiq, excuse me, is Jamal the right fight for him now? Because I think Levy, I always compare him to Rico a little bit. He's fighting from the outside. He's technically very sound, and I think he's a fighter that you need to rough up a little bit.
Yeah.
And I think Jamal is exactly the right guy to do that, as we saw in the last fight against Verhoeven.
Yeah.
So this is a big risk for Richters as well.
It is a big risk, a very big risk. And I don't know who's his manager, but if I was his manager, I would say, let's take somebody else first.
Take it
Someone
slow,
else.
yeah.
Yeah, take it slow. He's gonna get there. You know, he's still young. He's gonna get there. He told me, Remy, I want to be before I turn 28. I want to be the champion. I want to be champ, but take it easy. Don't take the steps too big. I'm really hoping that he will, you know, that he will win the fight.
Now, Glory's obviously focusing on the heavyweights more in the last couple of months and in the months going forward, which is something that I personally like very much. And we have seen a lot of the older guys come back. Alistair is back, Saki's back now. Obviously, Bader's still fighting. When are we seeing you come back?
No way,
No way?
people. No way.
You look in shape, though.
No. I am in shape. You know, I'm still training a couple of times a week. I'm still fit, but going back to the ring, it's something else. You know, I'm great that it's great that Glory is, you know, taking more attention to the heavyweights, the heavyweight division, and they are still pulling all the older fighters back to the ring. But in my opinion, they should focus more on the new talented fighters, you know, and it's good for, let's say, Saki and Alistair to come back. And like you said, Butter is still fighting, but I think we need to focus more on the young talented fighters. Make them great.
On the new generation.
New generation.
This is the last question, Remy. Do you think that Glory can continue the great tradition of heavyweight fights and heavyweight tournaments that we saw in your generation at the K1 circuit back in Japan? Do you think they can build on that foundation and, you know, can bring back the old glory, so to speak?
Well, if they want to bring the old glory from back in the days,
Yeah.
then like I said, they need to focus more on the new stars.
Yeah.
If you have a guy like, let's say he's 19 or 20, already heavyweight, still young, doing his fights, build that one up, and maybe 10 more of them, you know, and you will be happy if from the 10, 2 or 3, you know, get to that heavyweight level that we need, and that's what we need, because if you want to do an 8-man tournament, let's say within, you know, 3-4 years, then we need to start to work on it now, right now. Pay attention more to the young stars that are coming up. Yeah.
Thank you very much, man.
Thank you.
The great Remy Bonjasky.
Thank you very much. See you next time, people. Bye-bye.